I don't have your bio.
Fun.
Just
Oh, we don't
realized.
have your bio.
Did you hear us?
Oh no, sorry. That it must have just cut out.
Oh, that's okay. I never got a bio from you.
Oh,
Do you want to just tell us who you are?
yeah. Will that work?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Our whole thing is like we're just
We're
really
loosey
real and
goosey.
raw and we don't edit a whole lot. And it's just like the feedback we've gotten just on how like relatable that is incredible. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna
Okay,
go with that.
we'll wing it.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. Okay. I'm going to do our intro and things, which I'll press some buttons and then I'll give you a thumbs up when it's okay to talk again.
And I'll
Perfect.
start. I'll introduce you
Yep.
and then we'll go
She'll
from there.
start.
Okay.
Awesome. Here we go.
You are my favorite song that I've ever heard. Boy, you're my sunshine, yes, you are.
Welcome to the Pink Power Hour. Less pity, more power. Stories of hope, humor, and life with breast cancer, where we discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly with a cozy beverage and a lot of humor. We're your hosts, Amy and Jenna. This podcast is for anyone who has been impacted by breast cancer. Now let's dive into today's episode.
You are the kind of soul that I
Tastefully made, thoughtfully priced. Pliff beverages are full-flavored THC bevies that are the perfect substitute for any occasion. Social, solo, or anywhere in between. Plift, intentionally one letter short of the word uplift, because all that's missing is you. Now head on over to plift.com and enter code PINK10 at checkout for 10% off your order. Plift will also give us 10% back that we will use towards our grant funds for women in active treatment.
so that I have ever known.
Hello, friends. Today we are in our finale for our Thriver mini series, and we're joined by Dr. Shaunna Burke. We're very delighted to have you on. It's only our second time recording by Zoom, or third time, I should say.
Third time.
Recording by Zoom, so we're getting a little better at it. I have a drink today for Shaunna. It's called the Summit Sipper. It's sparkling water, fresh mint, cucumber slices, lime juice, ice, and then a dash of our pink glitter. So it's very tasty and great for a hot summer day. And we're
On
gonna
top
let
of Mount Everest.
yeah, on top of Mount Everest. Yes. So we're gonna let Shaunna tell us a little bit about herself before we get started.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for having me. And yeah, my name is Dr. Shaunna Burke, and I'm an associate professor in exercise and health psychology at the University of Leeds. I'm also a researcher in exercise and cancer, and I'm also a mountaineer. I have climbed Mount Everest. I've reached the summit two times. The first time was in 2005, and then again this year on May 23rd of this year.
That's incredible.
As a thriver.
Yes. As a thriver, the first woman with stage 4 breast cancer to climb Mount Everest. Yay.
That's right.
Incredible.
You're a role model for all of us. I'm also a thriver.
Yep.
So, and Amy is not, but she's pretty
I just
cool.
look
So
like
we
it.
we let her be part of the club.
Yeah.
Okay. So for all of us Americans that aren't very smart, where's Leeds?
So Leeds is in Yorkshire in the United Kingdom, about 2.5 hours north of London. So in the
Okay.
countryside, lots of rolling hills,
Mhm.
lots of sheep, lots of afternoon tea, just a beautiful place
Awesome.
to live.
So we should come visit,
Yes.
is what you're saying. Have to come
Absolutely.
see
So
it,
many times.
Yeah.
obviously.
So for the next recording, we'll come to you.
Yep. Yep.
Good thinking.
Perfect.
Just a quick jump
quick
over the
hop over.
pond. It'll be
Yes.
fine.
Okay, so tell us something about you personal life, something else about your personal life. Who are you outside of your
So
professional career?
Yeah, so outside of my professional career, so I'm really into sport and exercise, if you can imagine, somebody who lectures in the area, and I'm also just really passionate about having an active lifestyle.
Mhm.
So I actually grew up as an alpine ski racer, and at
Cool.
the age of 14, I left the family home to go into where I could go to school 3 days a week, and then I could ski 4 days a week.
Okay.
So very much sport and exercise has been a big, big part of my life since a very young age.
Yeah.
That's
14.
incredible.
That's
14.
amazing.
I would have been
Yeah.
too scared. I would have been like, nope, I can't leave my mama. Ah. Okay, so tell us about your diagnosis, the fun stuff.
Yeah, so it was 2 years ago. I can remember the exact date,
Yeah.
the time,
Yeah.
but I'll keep it more general here. So it was in March of 2024, and I was diagnosed. I was given a diagnosis of stage 2 breast cancer.
Okay.
And I remember at the time thinking, okay, it's going to be really tough, got to get through these treatments.
Worst
But
year
then,
of your life.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
where everything changes.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. But then 3 weeks later, I was brought back into my surgeon's office, and then they said, "Well, we've done another scan, and we've realized it's now spread, it's metastasized to the liver, and so it's now deemed stage 4." So that was probably the worst day of my life,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
The first one, not so bad. Second one, not great. Not great.
The first one felt manageable. At least for me, it was like, okay, I got to do these XYZ things, and then I can get past this. But then I actually had a reoccurrence in my brain 3.5 years ago. Yeah. So that also was the worst day of my life. But yeah, now it's the uncertainty. It's the change, the shift in the mindset of, treatment and things.
Yeah.
So,
That you never get to stop.
yeah.
And that it's for life now. And
Yeah, I hit the nail on the head with the word uncertainty. It's I think for anybody who's given a diagnosis, because there's the uncertainty, could it reappear? Or
Yeah.
there's the uncertainty, will my treatment stop working?
Right.
Or does it spread any further? So I think, yeah, the future becomes very uncertain.
Right.
But the way I manage that is I try to ground myself and live as much as I possibly can now in the present moment.
yeah.
You too.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And how do you, like for me, is yours hormone positive or HER2 positive? Do you have all those things too?
Yeah, mine's hormone positive.
Okay.
Hormone positive. Okay.
HER2 negative.
HER2 negative.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm hormone negative and HER2 positive.
And I'm triple
Okay.
positive. So I have it all. So did you have, were you put into menopause and all that kind of stuff with your
Yes,
treatments and things?
medically induced menopause as a result of chemotherapy, but I'm also BRCA2 positive, so I'm carrying genetic mutations. So I opted to have my ovaries removed because it was recommended. So I decided to do that as well. So
so take us through your treatments in total, just so we can understand, from start to finish what you've all had done to you.
Yeah, here we go. How long do you have?
I know that's what I'm saying.
As long as you'll talk to us.
So I did 5 months of chemotherapy. And then 2 weeks later, I had a double mastectomy and lymph node clearance.
Mm-hmm.
And then a month later, I had an operation on my liver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then 3 months after that, I had 3 weeks of radiotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 months after that, I had my ovaries removed. And then I believe it was 2 months after that, I had another operation on my liver. And now I'm on maintenance therapy.
Okay.
Wow.
And what are the liver surgeries that you had?
Yeah, so one of them was ablation therapy.
Oh, yep.
And the other one was they were trying to resect the tumor in the liver itself. So the chemotherapy shrunk the tumors on my liver, but one of the tumors was actually so small that they decided to do ablation therapy, whereas the other one they actually did a full surgery operation on.
Okay.
And can you explain what ablation is for our listeners?
Yeah, I guess the way I understand it, it's a little bit like radiotherapy in that they basically zap the tumor. So they use like intense heat to basically zap it, for a lack of a better.
Like they try to burn it out.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of ablations that they do.
Yeah, and I have no medical background, so I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but just take it out. Just get it out, please.
Get it out of my body, please.
Get it out, please. So I'm just curious, are you considered NED or no evidence of disease, or do you still have tumors?
So at the moment, I'm considered no evidence of disease. So yeah, based on my blood
Yay!
scan. You too.
Yeah,
Oh,
congrats.
yay.
Me too.
Oh,
That's like winning the
fantastic.
lottery of stage 4, isn't it?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
feel, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
That's
so
always
grateful. Unbelievably grateful.
unbelievably. So are you
Yeah.
still on your first line treatment then?
Correct.
Yay, me too. Yay.
Yeah.
Incredible. We're like twins, kind of, except for I can't
Except
climb
opposite.
anything. Yeah, I can't climb anything. And I'm scared of heights. So it's not a,
You can climb the stairs.
pretty much. That's about it. Okay, so now the fun stuff. Were you ever given a prognosis?
I was actually, and
Where?
remember when my surgeon gave me my prognosis, I took it in, I absorbed it, but then I was like, this is just a number. And
Yeah.
although I took it on board and I definitely it's not that I discounted what she was saying, but I also believe that, there's radical cases of remission out
Right.
there. There's, I think numbers are used, but they're only sort of generally given. And so I think I was very careful not to just grasp and hold on to it. And I just decided to take it on board, but then just go and live my life as fully as I possibly could.
Yeah. Will you
Yeah.
tell us what it was? How
Yeah.
long did
So,
it give you?
yeah, I mean, at the time, I was told that, so this would have been 2 years ago. I was told 10 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
better than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
they would never say anything, brain surgery, it's like, that's a major deal, right? But they would never give me a number. So it's like even more uncertain, although I don't know what's better. I don't know if I want to know
Yeah.
either.
Right.
So, but like you said, we're not just,
But
there are,
we also don't know.
they don't know.
Like
They
there's
just
new
don't know.
treatments always coming out. And like you said, there's people who beat the odds all the time.
Right.
And we've noticed kind of through this Thriver series that people are not given a prognosis.
Right. They're doing it less and less.
Here, they're doing it less and less.
Yeah.
And
They're really
because-
treating it like a chronic illness, stage 4 breast cancer. I mean, as it really should be at this
Yeah.
point, because women are
Hopefully,
living a lot longer and the treatments are getting better. And
yeah.
so
Absolutely.
yeah, I just
Shift.
think it's an interesting concept of, prognosis, how long are we going to live? But we don't know. It's just,
Right.
It's just
Right.
weird.
And we
weird.
always talk about it's not typically overnight.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, months and months typically that you'll kind of go downhill, or I don't know.
Right. And you live with the different lines of treatment, so
Yeah.
it's like if you're still on your first one, or, we do a lot of trying to educate on what this all looks like too. And especially with the mini series on what stage 4 and what that means. So thank you for that. Okay. Let's get to Everest. Can we?
Yeah. Yes, please.
So
I can't believe you did it twice.
I know. Okay. So you did it once before, which I didn't realize, but at what point did the second time, like, how did you go from treatment to Everest? Like, how did that?
Yeah.
How does that
surgery-
even happen?
Having surgery every 2 months.
Yes.
And then you're like, well, I might as well climb Everest again.
Yeah, keeping myself fit through my treatment was really important to me. So, because I knew the research, I knew the evidence, which shows that if you can keep yourself fit, it will mean that you won't decline as much through your treatments and that you can get back to resume your normal way of life much quicker than if you don't sort of keep your level of physical fitness sort of going throughout treatments. And so I actually would run to my chemotherapy infusions, have it, and then I would walk home, or I parked my car 3 miles away from the hospital, ran to my appointment, and then ran back to my car because I was just so determined to ensure that I maintained my fitness level, that I held on to my identity as well as an athlete, which was really important. And some of the newest evidence was coming out too to show that chemotherapy it's preliminary evidence, but it can be more effective if you exercise immediately beforehand. And so I was trying to do everything I possibly could to make sure my treatments were as effective as possible.
I suppose because all your cells are hungry for food then.
Yeah.
And if you're giving them chemo, then it'll probably be more effective. And yeah.
So what other types of activity? I know you mentioned running. What other do you do? Strength training? How else do you stay fit? How else do
Yeah.
you prepare for a climb like that? I want to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So strength training is also really important. So I do a lot in the gym,
Mhm.
lifting weights. So core strength is important, but also upper body and lower body. And then I also did a lot before going to Everest, a lot of acclimatization training. So because the altitude in the air is so
Okay.
thin, I needed to make sure that my ability to acclimatize would be possible. And I wasn't sure after all the treatments I had been through if I
Right.
would actually be able to acclimatize or not. So, yeah, coming back to your question about, how did I make the decision? Because I kept myself quite fit throughout treatment. A year after I was diagnosed, I went back to the mountains because the Himalayas really much hold a special place in my heart. They got the most beautiful mountain range you'll ever see. The
Yeah.
culture, the people is a real special place. And I wanted to, when I got my diagnosis, I wasn't sure if I'd ever get back to the mountains at one
Right.
point. And so I was so determined to hold on to my fitness that I ended up running the Everest Marathon a year after my chemotherapy. And when I was there, I made the decision. I was like, right, I want to go back and climb Everest again.
Yeah. The Everest Marathon, is that just like around the bottom, or is that?
Yeah, so it starts at Everest Base Camp, so an elevation of 5,300 meters,
Okay.
and then you drop down to 3,300 meters, but it's marathon distance. So it's over broken terrain, high suspension bridges, through the villages in the Himalayas. So they're
Oh,
really
cool.
beautiful, beautiful scenery. Yeah.
Awesome. And where are the Himalayas?
They're in Nepal.
Nepal. Okay.
You have
Yeah.
to remember we're American and we only know American geography and we don't even know that very well. And we know it. I was just talking to somebody else about that.
Now I'll have to add it to my bucket list.
Yes.
To the Himalayas. Sounds amazing.
So did your treatment slow you down at all? Like what treatments made you not be able? I mean, I'm also very active and I understand I tried very hard. I love my yoga. I love strength training. I love running, but chemo took me down. There were weeks I couldn't do it. So how did you get through that, or what slowed you down?
Yeah, similar to you, chemotherapy was
Yeah.
the hardest hitting on my body for definite. I mean, I remember, you've got right after you get your infusion, the couple of days after in particular, I was definitely at my lowest, where
Yeah.
it's much harder to do anything. So rather than go for a run, I would get myself off the sofa and maybe go for a little walk around the block. I would try to keep the body moving as best I could. But yeah, I remember it had really taxed my body. Yeah.
How about radiation? Did you have any? I had skin issues with my radiation where then I couldn't lift weights or certain things because it was so open. It was
that's right.
Open wounds.
Ooh, okay. I was fortunate. I didn't have any issues with radiotherapy, but I've heard other
radiotherapy. Yeah.
Similar to you. Yeah.
And is radiotherapy radiation therapy? Is that the same?
It must be. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just clarifying.
So what did your doctor say when you said I'm gonna climb Mount Everest, or did you tell him, or did you just do it?
Well, I was determined to do it regardless of what they said. But I did let them know. I was just curious to hear, what their views were on it. I was quite fortunate because my oncologist, he had been to Everest Base Camp the year before, so he had some experience with high altitude, and so he, had some familiarity with how sort of taxing it would be on my body. But I do remember sort of the health professionals looking at me perplexed, not quite sure how to respond when I said I was going to climb Everest. I think on the one hand, they were very supportive and encouraging. On the other hand, I think they thought, gosh, this is quite an undertaking that you're taking on. And so I think, they were definitely supportive, but I think also a bit uncertain as to how my body would hold up.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think my oncologist has had a similar approach with all the crazy things I ask him if it's okay if I do. Yeah, he only said no once. I wanted to in Iceland, I can't remember what it's called, but go deep down in the water underneath somewhere. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, no, with your brain surgery, you probably shouldn't do that. The pressure wouldn't be that good. And I was like, fine, I'll listen to you this one time.
Yeah. Yeah. Like scuba diving?
It was not quite scuba because we're not certified. I can't remember what it was, but I also have memory issues. So bear with me. Okay. So, what did a typical training day look like for after your diagnosis, after your treatments? Then once you started training, how many different exercises or things do you do a day to get ready for something like that?
It's quite all consuming, if you can
Yeah.
imagine. So, yeah, I would train 6 days a week. And out of those 6 days, 4 out of the 6, I would train twice a day. So I would either be in the gym lifting weights, or I'd be out running. I'd either do interval training sessions. So high intensity intervals, where you'd really push yourself and then you'd have a break and then you'd push yourself again. Or I do long back to back hikes with a rucksack, and I'd put weights, 20 kg in my rucksack.
Okay.
I would go find the steepest hills sort of in the area to be able to sort of mimic as close as possible to what I'd be doing on the mountain. So trying to gain as much elevation and sort of step climbing as I could with wet weights. Or you would find me in the high altitude chamber at the university, which is not too far from my house, where I actually had a team of researchers who are monitoring me for 12 weeks. And I was walking on a treadmill where we were able to put the elevation. We gradually increased it from 3,000 meters up to 6,000 meters over time. I had a rucksack on my back with weights, and I'd walk on the treadmill in low oxygen environment to get my body used to it.
Okay.
So how many hours a day on those 6 days? I know you said twice a day, but is that like 2 hours, or are we talking 6 hours?
It would vary. So during the week where I'd be working full time, I had to squeeze the training in the early morning. So I'd be up at 5 a.m. and I would probably do about an hour to an hour and a half in the gym. And then in the afternoon, I do another hour to an hour and a half. And then it was the weekends when I had longer, where I could actually do 6 to 7 hour days, 2 days back to back. So that's sort of how I managed it.
So you have no issues sleeping, I'm guessing.
That's right.
When anybody asks their doctor what they need to do to help them sleep, we're going to say,
Just
check out Shaunna.
That'll be fine. How tall is Everest?
Yeah, good question.
So it's the highest mountain in the world. So it's 8,848 meters.
Okay.
Yeah, which I believe is 20.
It's unfathomable to me.
Yeah.
It's just...
It's really high. It's like the same height that commercial airliners fly. That's how high.
That's insane. So how long does it take you to climb it?
So I was on the mountain for a total of 6 weeks. So you don't just arrive at base camp and go straight to the summit. It's a process where you do several rotations. So you will climb high. So there's 4 different camps on the mountain. So say the first day you'd climb up to camp 1, but you'd come back to base camp where you'd sleep and rest for a few days before going back up the mountain again to camp 2. So you basically end up climbing Everest 3.5 times to get to the summit because you're constantly going up and down, trying to allow your body to acclimatize.
Okay.
But 6 weeks. So how do you sleep? I just can't even imagine.
With your tent and your little
I know,
thing
but
that you stay in.
Do you sleep well? Is it no?
No, sleep is disturbed. And the higher you go, the more difficult it is to sleep because you're not getting enough oxygen. So like camp 4, what they call the death zone, your body wakes itself up gasping for air because it's just not getting enough oxygen. So you actually don't sleep when you're that high. You're just resting. Lower down on the mountain, you sleep, but it's disturbed sleep.
Totally.
And do you use an oxygen tank? Is that something that you use or no?
So I took oxygen with me. So we had a number of cylinders that we brought with us, and I started using oxygen up at camp 3. So at 7,300 meters is where I started to use it. That's typically where most climbers, some will start a little lower down. Some will climb without oxygen. It's quite rare. Most climbers do, but there are some who will attempt it without.
Okay. Did you notice it was different or more challenging or different in any way from the first time to the second time after your diagnosis?
Yeah, it's interesting. A few people have asked me that same question. And I think really for me, I think because I've climbed it once before, I knew exactly what I was going into and I
True.
prepared like I've never prepared for
Mhm.
anything else in my life because I knew that, my body would be, well, I don't know sort of the damage the chemo's done, to be
Right.
fair.
Right.
Yeah, so I just thought, gosh, I'm gonna have to, in a way, over prepared,
Right.
overcompensate just in
Right.
case. So yeah, so I because I prepared, I was actually really strong in the mountains, and I was able to, I performed quite well. I had to take the medication when I was on the mountain, so I had to make sure, like one of the meds I'm on, I have to take it an hour before I eat, and I have to stay upright for an hour. So I just had
Oh,
to make sure, like the timings with my meds, that
right.
I
Yeah.
had that properly when I was on the mountain. And then obviously there's some side effects with medication too.
Sure.
So like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you have this, but like temperature fluctuations with the body, thermoregulation.
Yes.
She does.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hot flashes.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
that'd be kind of nice when you're in the mountains.
Yeah. I would.
Not on a 90-degree.
We're going to
summer
send you
day.
to Everest.
Yeah, just send me to Everest. Just I don't need anywhere cold. It's great. We were just actually in Banff as a family, with my 87-year-old grandma and my 14-year-old daughter and my parents. So it was 4-generation trip. It was
Um,
just amazing. But being in the mountains and being able to be there with my grandma, it was lovely. And I don't
Yeah.
think I had a hot flash the whole time.
Right.
And then I got back and I was like, ah.
They're back. And it's been,
I was like, all right, I guess we just got to move to Banff. It'll be
Yeah.
fine.
oh, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah. But that's why I have my peaks on for you today.
oh,
The Banff
wonderful.
mountain.
She's a flattie, so she
I'm
wore
a
her
flatty,
peak
yeah.
for you.
I wore my
I like your t-shirt. Very nice. Very fitting for today.
How many people did you travel with on the mountain? Was it
Um,
really just
so
you or did you have a crew?
It was just me actually, and my team of Sherpas who I was climbing with. So Lopsang Sherpa was my lead climbing Sherpa, and we climbed. We did an acclimatization climb before going to Everest. So we climbed a 6,400 meter peak called Mara Peak. So we
Okay.
did that together, and then he was with me from start to finish, which was fantastic. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, I just can't imagine doing anything like that alone.
Yeah.
Completely alone. Yeah, that would scare me.
Was the death zone scary? I've seen things about that and it just, I don't know, it looks sad and scary, I guess.
Yeah, it's very harsh. So
Yeah.
when you get there, they don't call it the death zone for nothing. It's
Right.
yeah, you know that you're on the brink of where human life is sustainable. And
Mhm.
so, you to basically go into survival mode. And you see a lot of people around you. I saw people suffering,
Yeah.
with high altitude sickness. And there were two deaths. There were two climbers who died 2 days before we went for the summit push. And their bodies were still on the route. So it's
Yeah.
quite, it's quite difficult when you see
Humbling.
people,
Humbling. Yeah.
even though you prepare for it and you know that that's what it's like on Everest, it's still one thing to actually, come across and see them.
Yeah.
Right. Well, with any sort of athlete, there's some that make it and some that don't, So I'm not saying you want anybody to die, but yeah, you can prepare all you can, but to get through it, that's incredible.
Yeah. And how far is it from there to the summit?
From Camp 4 to the summit, it took us 8 hours.
Okay.
So we set off at 6:30 p.m. So we went very early, actually. We wanted to get ahead of the queues because we were worried there's going to be a lot of other climbers on the mountain. So we thought if we're at the front, we can go at our own pace.
Yeah.
So when we got to the summit, it was 3:30 in the morning and it was pitch black. But compared to 2005 when I got there, it was 6:30 in the morning and there wasn't a cloud in the sky and you could see,
Yeah.
the highest mountains,
Oh, man.
round views around you, like to the point you look out into the distance and see the curvature of the earth.
Yeah.
That's how high up you are. But this year was a bit different because it was pitch black, but it didn't matter. It was just the feeling of getting there that mattered.
Right.
So
And
what
do you
did it
stay
feel
there?
like? I need to know, what does it feel like emotionally to get to do
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I mean, I think really overwhelming, to be fair. I
Mm.
think for me, this climb, I felt it was more than just a personal journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to use the climb as a platform to
Yeah.
raise awareness of stage 4
Right.
breast
Which
cancer.
you have. We
Yeah.
found you.
We found you. Yep.
We're like,
Yeah,
we need this girl. We need to talk to her. This is incredible.
Yep.
But yeah.
yeah, that's it's so important for me to just try to inspire people because it's
Mhm.
really tough, isn't it? When you get a
Yeah.
diagnosis like any diagnosis, it's
Right.
really, really challenging. And so just wanted to give people hope that,
Right.
that whatever your Everest is, to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And
Right.
Yeah.
so when I got there, yeah, I was definitely emotional, definitely just felt this real sense of gratitude for having the opportunity to go
To do
back
it.
to Everest
Yeah.
and to do it again. I just
Yes.
thought, wow, being given another chance.
Mm.
So don't take anything lightly anymore. Just
Mm-mm.
definitely take anything
Right.
for granted. So yeah, incredible feeling,
It
definitely.
really
Incredible.
changes just how you look at everything
Yes.
instantly.
Take nothing for granted.
Yeah.
Every second, they say
Right.
live every day. It's like it's not every day, it's every moment.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because every day can have its fluctuations, but I can find the good in all of them now.
Yeah. Right.
So true.
Was there ever a point you wanted to stop on the climb
I
where you
think
thought I can't do this?
there were times that were more difficult than others
Okay.
on the climb. Times when, I could feel myself being challenged and pushed physically, where my body was breaking down. But I think within me, and I think maybe my diagnosis has given me that real sort of ability to really dig deep and to just
Yeah.
keep going. But yeah, I think I could have put up with anything in a way. It
Yeah.
was just yeah, let's go.
Well, and when you hear everybody's stories, it's like how many surgeries people have gone through, how many chemo and radiation and all these things. And then, I don't know, just normal woes, I guess, don't feel the same.
Right.
And it's like, well, I just had my body ripped to pieces and poisoned for 3.5 years. So
I know. I almost
I
feel
guess I'd be okay now.
insensitive sometimes because
Yeah.
it's like the little things really don't matter. Or, the things that a lot of people get upset about, you're like,
Yeah.
who cares? I mean, I feel like a brat or a jerk or a bitch, if you will, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
I,
It's just different.
yeah,
Your perspective changes so
perspective
fast.
shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Massively. Yeah. I have to have a bit more patience with people who do get caught up in the little things because
Yeah.
to your point, because it's like, don't forget they haven't lived through what you lived
Right.
through. So
Right.
I agree with you.
And you sure don't wish it on anybody, but
No.
and I don't know if you find this there too, but the community in the breast cancer community is just overwhelmingly wonderful and supportive. And mine is stage 1 and triple positive, but I developed androgenetic alopecia when I went through menopause. So I have like male pattern baldness, and I tried growing it out, and I just look so much different than everybody else. And my reconstruction failed. And so when people look at me, they're like, oh, you must be the stage 4 person. And I was like, no, that's
me.
That's Jenna.
And I never lost my hair and I had reconstruction. And, everyone always says, you look so good, like, well,
and so
I know that I spent all morning in the toilet.
Yeah.
So.
We're a very unique pair in that way that I have a lower diagnosis, but I am very outwardly.
It's very visible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were on a different podcast, and she had said it's a forced vulnerability. And that just like really got me in my core, because I was like, yeah, that's totally how it feels. Because I go up to somebody and they wonder why I look like this or anything like that. And it's like, well, and so I've really connected with the Thriver community a lot, and they have welcomed me as one of their own, which is wonderful. But it's just such a beautiful community, and they truly understand. And you could talk about all these weird drug names and they get what you mean, and different appointments. But yeah, like you said, with the meds, my husband and I had gone on a trip, and I had to wake up at like 1 a.m. to take my meds on time, because I had to take them for Minnesota time, not for, we were in Ireland for my birthday last year.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, oh, it's 2 a.m. Got to take my meds. Just because everything for the menopause stuff has to be
On
on the same
time.
time for me.
Oh, interesting.
So are you on a hormone blocker? I know you had your
Yes.
ovaries out, but
Yep.
did you have your uterus out too?
No, so on
No.
hormone blocker as well.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
You too.
And
Yeah.
interesting what you say too about like the visible changes and the invisible changes.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
you know, people don't always know what's going on because there's those invisible ones too that happen.
Right.
And I think
Yeah.
like for me, with double mastectomy, so my body changed, going bald as well during chemo, that changed. But I think for me, the hardest was the invisible change that people
Mhm.
couldn't see. So I was a researcher working with cancer patients in the field for 17 years.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden I found myself as a patient on the other
Yes.
side.
Yes.
So that I found quite difficult was that
Yeah.
sort of shift in, oh, hold on a second. I'm now the patient. I'm now vulnerable. I'm now
Yes.
having to, you know, receive support. What do you mean?
Right.
So,
No, thank you. I'm strong. I
Yeah.
can climb Mount Everest. I
Yeah.
don't need your help.
Yep.
yeah,
I
exactly. Yeah.
did CT scans at the hospital for 10
Mhm.
years. And so, I mean, almost all of our patients had cancer of some kind. And it was just like, oh man. And I knew they were going through something hard. But after going through it myself, I was like, I had no idea.
Mhm.
Because when they come for scans, they're typically feeling okay. It's not days after chemo, it's weeks or whatever. And I just wanted to go back and hug them all and be like, I'm so sorry you're going through this.
I get it now.
I get it now.
Mhm.
Like, I really, really understand.
Mhm.
And another friend of ours, Katie, she calls it the knowing, where you just automatically understand where someone says, I went through breast cancer, I
Yeah.
went through cancer, or chemo, or whatever. It's, I know, I get it. Like, I understand you. And that's where some of my best friendships have now grown from, is that kind of space where people just get it.
Yeah. People just understand.
Yeah.
What is the cancer community like there? I mean, is it different? Is it, I mean, we obviously we're in Minnesota and we have a local community here that we all get together, we get together, we
Yeah.
plan events, or things like that. But I'm just curious, is it, what is
Especially
it
because
like?
you're more in rural area.
Yeah, I guess everybody deals with their diagnosis differently, don't they?
Okay.
So, I mean, for me, when I was diagnosed, I had a really strong friendship support group and neighbors as well.
Mhm.
And I started sort of my own WhatsApp group with my closest friends and neighbors.
Oh,
And
okay.
they sort of became my support throughout
Yeah.
my journey. I didn't really tap into the more formal support groups that were out there, but I know
Yeah.
they do exist. I know
Yeah.
there's, we've got a fantastic charity called Macmillan, who I actually raised funding for when I went up the mountain on Everest. And
Okay, cool.
they offer a lot of support to
Mhm.
patients in the community. Everything from there's counseling services to places where you can just go and connect and have a coffee and have a chat, that peer support group. So there is a lot of support for people
Okay.
who are going through cancer here as well, which is great. So, but I think everyone's a bit different, aren't they, in terms of how they.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people don't want to talk about it at all.
Right.
And
True.
And that's okay.
Yep. And that's okay.
That's what people have asked, what do we do to get a friend to talk about it that doesn't want to? Well, you don't.
Yep.
You let them be.
You let them be.
You let them be.
You talk about other stuff.
Yeah. You sit with them with wherever they're at. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you wanted to use Everest as a platform. So what's the goal, or how do you plan to do that? I mean, obviously you are, but tell us more about that.
Yeah, I think really for me, I see the research that I did on the mountain as something that's hopefully going to raise sort of some awareness for other cancer patients who are going through just the importance of movement and physical activity, and how, we're seeing more and more evidence now where it helps with side effects like fatigue, for example. The evidence base is quite strong. I think before, a few decades ago, it used to be rest is best.
Yeah.
And now there's a paradigm shift. That's not the case. It's now, about moving more and doing what you can, it's not about, I climbed Everest. That's the most extreme and sort of,
Yeah.
example, but I think it's just about starting from where you are. And if it's, just moving around the house more, taking the stairs or going into the garden, doing some gardening, it's doing what you can, listening to your body, taking the rest when you need it, but also moving. And so I think for me, I just wanted to use Everest as a way to help inspire people, to be more aware, sort of as well, of what you can do with your life. Still, it's not, when you hear the word stage 4, it's not game over. And I think a lot of people sometimes associate that.
They do. They really do. I did. I personally did.
Yeah.
My mom,
and I think a lot of
stage 4, and she died within 4 months of her diagnosis, so that's what I equated it to, is like, okay, I don't have long. And now I've shifted my mindset, and I live much the way I think that you're saying that you do, with that. I'm still me. I can still do so much. I mean, things have changed. I've made some changes in my life to accommodate my side effects and whatnot, but I am still capable of so much. Yeah. So, I know you're on the podcast with us and you're doing other things, but how are you getting the word out there about you, about what you've done?
Yeah. So I've got a website, dyingtoclimb.com.
Okay.
And I'm also on Instagram as well, and LinkedIn. So I'm using social media platforms as much as I can to share my story, but also to try to, again, inspire and share my story, and just try to raise awareness, really. So that's really, my platforms that I use. And I'm going to be continuing to do more climbs in the future as well. And just to continue to raise some money for cancer charities, go back to the Himalayas, continue climbing 8,000 meter peaks. So there's 14 8,000 meter peaks in the world.
Wow.
So I'm going to try and do as many as them as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
invite
amazing.
us. It'll be
I
fun.
know.
We'll cheer for you at the bottom.
I don't know what we can do, but so you've really shown the world what somebody with stage 4 cancer can do. How does that feel?
It's really empowering, I think. And I guess, for me, it was definitely a personal journey for me as well. So 17 years ago, I did a study with a group of breast cancer survivors on Kilimanjaro. And I climbed the mountain with this group of women. And I used an ethnographic approach. So where I conducted interviews and I observed them and I spent time with them, getting to know them. And one of the questions I had for them was, what does climbing Kilimanjaro mean to you?
Yeah.
And all of the women talked about how the climb basically was a way for them to gain closure. It was a way for them to start over again, a new chapter. So they were using the mountain. It sort of represented, it was a metaphor for them of basically one step up the mountain. Yeah, exactly. One step up the mountain was a step away from breast cancer. And
almost like acceptance in a way. Yeah. And I can move forward now.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Change, but
I'm changed, but I can move forward now. I'm gaining some closure from it. And I remember, for me, thinking, okay, well, what does Everest mean to me? And I was like, it's not about closure, because when you've got stage 4, cancer comes with you. You have
no closure.
There's no, exactly.
Right.
No. Yeah, it's about learning to live with it for the rest of your life. But for me, it was about agency. It was about how I could take control of my life and continue to live my life in the way I wanted to live it, despite, living with cancer. So it's just sort of an interesting metaphor for understanding.
Do you have any critics? Anybody who thinks, what you're doing is wrong?
I wouldn't say critics. I think I have
a better word.
Who think I'm absolutely mad. Some of my friends just think, what are you doing? And there's probably more people out there than I think of that I can probably use to think I'm crazy. But I think generally, like my community and my support network are really, really supportive, because I think they understand how important it is for me. The mountains are my passion, and that's where I feel the most alive when I go to the mountains. And a sense of freedom that I get when I'm there. And so they're all very supportive, but they do worry as well. I know that.
Understandably, but
how long did you stay at the summit? Like, is that you just like hang out, just like relax, have some tea?
Yeah,
Obviously not, but I'm just
unfortunately.
saying.
Maybe a summit sipper.
Oh yeah, that's the next drink, a summit
Yep.
sipper. So yeah, I not long actually. So it was
Yeah.
literally like maybe 10 minutes. It was freezing cold. The winds
Okay.
were howling when we got there.
Yeah.
And the idea too is like the longer you're in high altitude, the high like at that elevation, the higher it is the chance of coming down with something quite severe in terms of
Okay.
altitude sickness. So
Yep.
the idea is to sort of climb as quick as you can and get out of there as quick as you can. And
Yeah.
70% of the accidents actually occur on Everest on the descent
Okay.
Oh,
because
wow.
you're so tired and you're exhausted. So it's about managing your energy reserves. So you think of, going through treatments as well. We had to learn how to manage our energy in terms of
Mhm.
how much do I have and where do I want to spend that energy? Well, the same
Yeah,
as on
right.
Everest. You have to understand how much energy you've got so that when you get to the summit, you're only halfway there. You still have to
Yeah.
get yourself all
Yeah.
the way down. So
Right. Okay.
So in a way, do you think the diagnosis, gave you, I don't know, better skills to get through in a way?
I think the mountains have taught me how to deal with my diagnosis, and my
Okay.
diagnosis has also taught me
Fair.
how
Yeah.
to. So I think it goes both ways. So
Yeah.
to give you an example, like adapting to change,
Yeah.
with cancer, there's so many changes that you go through.
Have to be
Short-term plan,
flexible.
hold on hold, exactly that
Yeah.
adaptive mindset. You've just got to keep because you just don't know what's around the corner.
Yep.
And that helped me in the mountains because in the mountains the weather changes, there's an avalanche, there's a crevasse,
Yeah.
somebody gets injured, you're constantly having to shift and change your plans. And so
Right.
you can see a lot of sort of parallels in the two with the mindset
Mm-hmm.
that can be helpful. Yeah.
Oh, I
And
like that
problem
connection.
solving.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like going through surgeries and diagnosis stuff and chemo and everything else, it's like you're just problem solving one day after the next and trying to figure out how can I feel better? How can I make this easier on myself so I can come out the other side better? And I don't know. And I had a small business before. I owned a cupcake shop for 14 years. And that really helped me too, because I was constantly problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd get into work and they'd be like, oh, this is broken, or like this fell over, or I don't know, the fridge doesn't work, And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, now I got to fix a fridge, or now I got
Yeah.
to
You learn
redo
how to
that.
pivot.
And yeah, you just
Yeah.
learn how to pivot constantly until it just becomes a part of you where you feel like you can solve anything.
Mm-hmm.
And when
Yeah.
people come to me with a problem, it's like, okay, well, let's figure it out. We'll figure it out together. And I have a 14-year-old daughter, and it's the same way. We figure things out together. And I love that, like seeing her little brain work and like how she figures stuff out. And it's like, oh, because then she's teaching me
Mm-hmm.
how her brain is so different than mine. And we can do it together still. So I don't know. I love that part of it.
I know. Yeah. I feel like I'm just not really scared of a whole lot anymore.
Yeah.
If I can do all of that, then, what's a snake, or whatever it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I've
It's
truly been to death and back. And
Yes.
that's
And
still
I'm a
here.
strong believer in we grow through adversity. It's
Yeah,
adversity
totally.
that, and not, I guess, suppose not everybody does, but I think you can grow through adversity.
You
I
can.
think it can make us stronger and it can make us more resilient and it can make us more adaptable. And I think, yeah, like you're both sharing, I think I grew a lot as a result of my diagnosis. And it's because of that adversity, that struggle.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
especially going from stage 2 originally, where you think you're going to go through something and then you get to be done with it. And then stage 4, where it's literally a part of you now for the rest of your life. And I think that's something we're really trying to do with this Thriver series, is just understanding how people have kind of rolled it into their everyday life and
Right.
how they don't let it consume them, but it's still there.
It's always there.
And
It's
worrying
always there.
about it's going to come back or my meds aren't going to work. And I think a lot of people don't understand just how big of a mental shift that is for
Right.
metastatic breast cancer.
And I don't even know that you can understand until
Until you get there.
you've
But
been there. But I'm curious what you want newly diagnosed stage 4 women to take from your story. I know you said hope, but what else?
Hope. Yeah, I think hope's the biggest one.
I agree.
And never giving up. Keep
Yeah.
showing up is the term that I like to use.
Yeah, I like that.
Just just, yeah, keep just, because I think there are bad days, we
Yeah.
can't deny that. But I think if you just keep facing into it, then I think it can help make you sort of a stronger person through it. And I think, I don't know, I guess there is a lot of fear that's associated with the diagnosis. And I
Absolutely.
think fear can paralyze you, or you can actually confront fear and you can look at it square in the face. And I think if you do that, you'll then be able to continue to thrive. If you don't, it's going to stop you from living fully. And I think it's just that, to me, that's probably the biggest lesson that I've sort of taken away from my diagnosis, is just to face into my fears and to not let them take over.
Right. Right.
I love that message. Yeah.
We
could use that message.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, and with people getting diagnosed younger and younger, it's not, okay, well, I don't know, I'm 85 years old and I have breast cancer.
Yeah.
It's a very different mentality when you're 38 or 34.
34 with a 16-month-old and a
Yeah.
year-old, so it's,
and it just keeps getting younger and younger,
and younger.
It just, yeah.
And we just keep going.
One foot in front of the other. Yep.
Yeah. Live in the moment.
Maybe not up Mount Everest, but
yeah,
keep walking. Okay, so how can our listeners find you? I know you mentioned your website. Will you tell us your website, your handle, your Instagram handle?
Yep. So it's Dying to Climb. That's my website, and that's also my Instagram handle as well.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay.
Perfect.
And I'm working on a memoir at the moment. So
awesome.
Yay.
So eventually a book will come out, and I'm also working on a documentary. So
okay. I thought I saw the documentary in the work somewhere there. So that's incredible. You have to be sure to share with us so we can share out with everybody when on updates, and we follow you. So we'll find it and we'll share out.
Jenna and I actually met through a documentary called 1 in 8 that me and my friend Jackie, who is also a thriver, put on together after a Super Bowl commercial that was just ridiculous. And I told Jackie, we should just make our own commercial. And then we met with this crew of people. And at the end of it, it was like, I guess it's a documentary. Never mind.
We need to do more.
Yep. So it's 10 of us. We have one pre-Viver that has the BRCA mutation, BRCA2, and everywhere kind of in the middle from Thriver to...
Yeah, all different stages, ethnicities, background stories, all different. But we each told our story. There's 10 of us, and it's almost done?
Yeah, it's supposed to be done on the 12th, and then we'll start submitting it to film festivals and things like that. So it's 1 in 8.
1 in 8.
So that
we're very excited
because the current statistic is 1 in 8 women will get diagnosed with breast cancer. So that's where we came up with the name, and
love it.
Yeah, so we'll have to share it when it's available. I know we can't until it's done with the film festivals, but
right, okay,
yeah.
But it's
I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, we're going to end on a question that we ask everybody. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
She already climbed Everest.
I know. I'm like, I feel like
actually, so my superpower would be if I could communicate with animals. So I've got a cat.
I love that. Like our resident puppy. Did you see her? This is
What's
Morgan.
Morgan.
She's my little devil. She weighs 5 pounds. She's full grown. This is Oliver.
Yeah. She's gorgeous.
She is gorgeous.
How old did you say she is?
She's 2 years old.
2 years old.
Yeah, but she's full grown. She won't get any bigger. She's like Cavapoo.
Yep.
But she's the runt, I think, because most of them are closer to like 10, 12 pounds. But we love her.
Yeah. She's gorgeous.
She's good for cuddles.
She's wonderful. She only loves my husband, though, so we don't like her anymore. Donna, this has been so fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for talking with us today. And I'm just in awe of all that you've done. And thank you for bringing hope to a community that definitely needs it.
Yeah.
So
thank you for having me and for sharing your stories as well. It's been really, really nice to chat with you.
I can't wait to keep up on all your things.
I know.
It's so great when I found you, and I sent it to Jenna right away. I was like, we have to get her.
We got to get her on. It's like, try to work
So
my
thank
magic.
you. Thank you. I know you're busy and
Yeah.
it's such an
No,
honor to talk to you. Thank you.
Yes.
it's an honor to be on. So thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You
Yep,
too.
you too.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.
Do you shut this off or do I?